This will be a quick and easy product review of the Eastwood's rust encapsulator. So y'all see me putting it on the Mustang back here. I'll show you my finished product there. This is the first thing I've ever used this on, so I really kind of wanted to test it. I've used POR 15 in the past, and it always seemed to be decent stuff, but it takes a lot of steps. This stuff here is basically you knock off the rust, clean it pretty well, and put it on. You can spray it or you can wipe it on with a paintbrush. I'm gonna spray mine today, and I'll show you what I got here for a test panel. Here we are. So that's my same rust encapsulator I've been using the entire time. He bought a gallon of it, and basically this is an old toolbox that I dug out of the corner over there, poured the rusty water out of, and it's gonna be my test panel for today. So basically it says, ensure that the surface is free of loose rust, scale, and paint. Cleaning with a stiff wire brush should be sufficient. And then remove all dust, oil, grease, chemical contamination using the Eastwood pre-painting prep. Got it right there. Used it before, works pretty good. And allow to dry thoroughly. I'm not doing a patch area. Single coats the Eastwood rust encapsulator will be dry to touch in 20 minutes, thoroughly dry in 3 to 4 hours. If a second coat is desired for greater durability, allow 1 hour before applying the second coat. If applying heavy coats, allow extra drying time. May be thinned up to 20% with lacquer thinner for spraying. So you can apply a top coat, it says. Let me show you here. Scuff sanding, 320 to 400 grit is recommended for top coats applied after 36 hours. So I'm not going to top coat this. I'm going to spray it on whenever I'm setting my gun up to finish the Mustang. That way I won't waste any. And I'm going to put this through a little durability test. So I'm just doing this side. I've got my electric wire brush set up, and I'm going to run over this real quick. I'll show you how simple this stuff is. There we are. So that's all I'm doing to this. I knocked that rust off. See, there's a spider crawled out. Rust knocked off any loose rust scales with this. Now I'll take my pre-painting prep. I'll put some in this water bottle just to show you. Coat it. I'll use this random old t-shirt and wipe it off. Pretty dirty. Found a new spot on the shirt. Still showing dirt. Now, do it one more time. Still dirty. I like to switch to a new clean part of my dirty shirt. There's no oil on this shirt. Still dirty. And pretty clean. That's all we're doing to this. So you'll see me set up my gun here in a minute. I'm gonna shoot this I'll give it an hour, put a second coat on it, and then we're going to put it through the test. So here's our paint gun set up, and there's our fancy toolbox. I'll show you my first little coat here. That's it. I'm gonna come back in about an hour and recoat that one good time. We're gonna test it out here shortly. I think while we're waiting on that paint to dry, I'll show you what I got done on the Mustang here. All this is, everything that's black has been encapsulated. So I stuck it in my paint gun. I did it the exact same way as I did that toolbox. I hit everything with the wire brush I could reach. If I couldn't reach it, I went ahead and got a red scuff pad out. You can see some of these frame members here. They turned out pretty good, slick. I did tie rod ends, drag link, sway bar. Basically everything with that shiny brake. And I don't really think I missed any spots. I'm sure I'll see some later and kick myself, but then it goes even up under the car. And I'll get down and show you that. Everything has been shot, done, all the way. Rear frame. This is the stuff I did the other day. If you saw my first or second video, I had this flipped upside down and did it with a brush. I did undercoat this today, so that's got a little some new texture to it. But in there, also inside the trunk, you can tell this is kind of a brushed finish, but it turned out pretty nice. It seems to be durable. You know, I can't scratch it with my fingernail, but I was wondering, and I threw some seam sealer on. I'm just wondering how it's going to stand up. That's the inside of a fender. See if I can show you that whole fender. Shot both those. How's it going to hold up under our stress test? This will be something you've probably never seen before, but you'll be glad that you did. I also did the inside of the car. Forgot that. It's a little dirty now, but from the firewall all the way back, everything's been coated. We'll be back. Here we are back. Got 2 good coats on. It's been about 2 hours. I figured that most people are going to put this on their car will probably throw a little undercoating over it. So I got this 3M professional grade rubberized undercoating. Truck underbodies, wheel wells, trunks, boat trailers, all that jazz. Pretty much it says remove all rust, blah blah blah. Hold can 10 to 12 inches from surface. Sweeping motion to apply uniform coat. Remove any overspray. Allow product 3 to 5 minutes. Then apply recommended second coat. So here we go. I'm already shaking this. Just gonna do the bottom half of this. That's it. Didn't take long at all. You can see my finish. It's kind of rough. When we test this in a couple days, I know I keep saying we're going to test it today. It's going to be a couple days. I'm going to let this stuff dry really well like it says on the can. And that way we won't have any excuse if it doesn't pass the test. So I'll give it about 3 minutes. I'll throw my second coat on, and the next time you see it, we'll be at our test site. So hang out. So here's our painted toolbox. It's been about 55 hours, something like that, since I sprayed this. I did accidentally the day of roll it over, and it kind of messed up the undercoating right there a little bit, but that doesn't have much to do with our actual coating. The coating, remember, this whole side, and then I just undercoated the bottom. I got a little bit of overspray there, you can kind of see, but really got a good finish. They say off the gun finish. I really like this stuff. See, I put a little scratch in it with my nail, but you know, there's no perfect black paint, but we'll call this test number 1. I'm gonna put you on my head and just turn my old 3100 PSI pressure washer on it, see if I can't knock it off with that first. If it passes that test, we'll move to number 2. Looks like we did get a little bit. The water's beading off of it nicely. You can kind of see that in real time. Got a little bit through here. Man, look at that. I do like that quality. I guess I never knew about that. Which maybe any new paint does that. I don't know. But I could knock some of it off up here. This didn't really get prepped very well. I will say that. I ran over my undercoating really well. I would say, see, I can scrape it off of my fingertips. That could just be a property of the undercoating. But I sprayed it the same day as I did this. But for the most part, that toolbox looks really good. There's a little bit right there. You can see my pressure washer went through. In my opinion, it passed test 1. Let's see how well it stands up to rock chips. So give me just a second. Here we are back. That's a pretty good pattern there for a short barrel 12 gauge. Try to examine this real close for you here. It did knock off a lot of my encapsulator. Surprise, surprise. Also looks like there's some right below that. Maybe it penetrated it. I don't know. But there's still some undercoating left. There's still encapsulator around it. That looks pretty good. Can't pull it off with my fingernail. I guess that was more of an extreme test than I really wanted, but that's a pretty good simulation, I'd say. I guess you only get that kind of stuff here at the JustMoparJoe channel. Oh well. It was cool while it lasted. I wonder if I took a picture of it before. I like it. I bet you Rust-Oleum wouldn't have done that good. Or POR 15. I don't know. I'll leave this out here for a couple years and see how bad it rusts on this side. It's a good pattern, man. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. And I know this episode's kind of been a blast. No pun intended. See you next